There exists within you a sacred conversation that has been taking place since the moment you drew your first breath. It whispers to you in quiet moments, stirs within you during sleepless nights, and calls to you through the depths of your heart. This conversation is not between you and another person, but between you and the universe itself. Every desire you have ever felt, every longing that has moved through your awareness, every dream that has captured your imagination is actually a message from the infinite intelligence that orchestrates the dance of galaxies and the blooming of flowers. Most of us have been taught to see our desires as personal wants, as evidence of our incompleteness, or worse, as distractions from spiritual growth. We have been conditioned to believe that wanting something means we are lacking, that desire is the enemy of contentment. But what if this understanding has been turned upside down? What if your desires are not signs of your separation from the divine, but rather the very means through which the universe communicates its evolutionary impulse through you? Take a moment now to breathe deeply, 4 slow conscious breaths, and as you do, notice what arises in the stillness between each inhale and exhale. In that space, there is a quality of awareness that observes your breathing without being the breath itself. This same awareness witnesses your desires without being consumed by them. When you rest in this witnessing presence, you begin to sense that your deepest longings are not random wants, but carefully orchestrated invitations from consciousness itself. The universe is not a collection of separate objects floating in empty space, but rather a unified field of intelligence expressing itself through infinite forms. Your individual consciousness is not separate from this cosmic intelligence any more than a wave is separate from the ocean. When a desire arises within you, it is the ocean of consciousness stirring within the wave of your individual awareness. The longing you feel for love, for creative expression, for healing, for meaning, for beauty, for connection, these are not evidence of your inadequacy, but proof of your divine nature seeking to know itself more fully through your unique perspective. Consider the mystery of how a seed contains within itself the entire blueprint of the tree it will become. The seed does not desire to become something other than what it already is in potential. Its growth is simply the unfolding of its inherent nature. Similarly, your desires are the universe's way of calling forth the fullest expression of what you already are in the realm of pure potential. They are invitations to step into greater alignment with your essential nature, which is nothing less than consciousness itself. Within the vast expanse of modern science, a revolutionary understanding has emerged that bridges the ancient wisdom of spiritual traditions with the cutting-edge discoveries of quantum physics. At the most fundamental level of reality, beneath the apparent solidity of matter, lies a field of pure potentiality where all possibilities exist simultaneously. You have been awake all along. Awakening is simply the recognition of what has always been true about your essential nature. Every desire you have ever felt has been consciousness calling itself back to this recognition, using the apparent problems and longings of individual existence to guide awareness back to its source. The awakened state is not a permanent high or a constant bliss, but a fundamental shift in identity from the wave to the ocean, from the character in the dream to the dreamer, from the temporary formations of consciousness to consciousness itself. In this recognition, desires continue to arise, but they are no longer sources of suffering because you know yourself to be the awareness within which they appear, rather than the one who is either fulfilled or frustrated by them. Awakening reveals that every experience you have ever had, including every desire and its fulfillment or lack thereof, has been perfect for your evolution. Nothing has been a mistake. Every apparent detour has been part of the path. Every seeming obstacle has been a hidden gift. Every desire has been the universe's way of inviting you to discover something deeper about your true nature. From the awakened perspective, your desires become prayers of gratitude rather than requests for something you lack. They become expressions of your recognition that consciousness is inherently creative, inherently abundant, inherently loving. You desire not because you are incomplete, but because consciousness delights in expressing its infinite nature through endless forms and experiences. The practice now becomes one of living this recognition in ordinary moments, of bringing the understanding of your true nature into every interaction, every decision, every breath. You discover that awakening is not a destination, but a way of traveling, not a final achievement, but a continuous deepening into the mystery of what you are. Take 10 conscious breaths now, and with each breath, allow yourself to rest more deeply in the recognition of your true nature. Feel how this recognition naturally expresses itself as love, as peace, as spontaneous service to the well-being of all existence. This is not something you must work to achieve, but something you can simply allow to emerge from the depths of your being. Your desires, when arising from this awakened understanding, become invitations for consciousness to know itself more fully, to express itself more beautifully, to love itself more completely through the sacred form of your human existence. You become a conscious collaborator with the universe's endless creativity, a willing participant in the cosmic dance of consciousness, exploring its own infinite nature. The journey of understanding your desires as messages from the universe is ultimately a journey home to yourself, not the small self that seems separate and lacking, but the infinite self that is the very source and substance of all desires, all experiences, all existence. This is not the end of the path, but the beginning of truly living as the consciousness you have always been, now awake to its own nature and expressing that awakening through every breath, every choice, every moment of this precious human life. Test these truths not through belief, but through the laboratory of your own direct experience. Allow your desires to become teachers, your longings to become doorways, your deepest yearnings to become invitations into the endless mystery of consciousness knowing itself as you. In this recognition, every desire becomes a prayer, every fulfillment becomes a gift, and every moment becomes an opportunity to participate consciously in the universe's eternal love affair with itself. This quantum field is not empty space, but rather a plenum of intelligence, a cosmic womb from which all experiences, all desires, and all manifestations emerge. In this realm of infinite possibility, the very act of observation changes what is being observed. When a quantum particle is measured, it collapses from a state of all possibilities into one specific reality. The observer and the observed are not separate entities, but participants in a unified process of creation. This is not merely a phenomenon isolated to laboratory experiments with subatomic particles. This is the fundamental nature of reality at every level, including the level of your consciousness and your desires. Your awareness is not a passive witness to an already determined reality, but an active participant in the continuous creation of your experience. Every moment of attention, every focus of intention, every quality of consciousness you bring to any situation influences the field of possibility around you. When you desire something deeply, you are not merely wanting something that exists outside of you. You are participating in the universe's creative process, calling forth from the field of infinite potential the experiences that will serve your highest evolution. The quantum field responds not to your words or even your thoughts alone, but to the total vibrational quality of your being. It reads the frequency of your consciousness, the emotional texture of your awareness, the coherence between your conscious intentions and your unconscious beliefs. This is why desire accompanied by doubt creates confusion in the field, while desire aligned with trust and surrender creates clarity and manifestation. The field of infinite possibility is always responding to the totality of what you are broadcasting through your consciousness. Take 6 conscious breaths now, and with each exhale, allow yourself to. Release any sense of struggle or effort around your desires. Notice how your body feels when you simply allow your longings to exist without trying to make them happen or pushing them away. In this state of relaxed awareness, you begin to align with the natural flow of the quantum field, which seeks always to express itself through forms that serve the evolution of consciousness. Your physical body is not a dense, fixed object, but rather a dynamic pattern of intelligence, a flowing river of consciousness that appears stable only because your mind creates the continuity of experience moment by moment. Every cell in your body is constantly dying and being reborn. The atoms that compose your body today are different from the atoms that composed your body 7 years ago. What remains constant is not the material substance, but the pattern of intelligence that orchestrates this continuous transformation. This pattern of intelligence is not separate from your consciousness, but is consciousness itself expressing through the apparent form of your body. Your thoughts create cascades of neurotransmitters, your emotions trigger hormonal responses, your beliefs influence your genetic expression, and your intentions reorganize the very structure of your brain. The field of consciousness that you are is constantly sculpting your body into alignment with your habitual patterns of awareness. When you truly understand that your body is consciousness made manifest, you begin to realize that healing is not something that happens to your body, but something that happens through your awareness. Every belief you hold, every emotion you feel, every intention you set, sends information throughout the cellular network of your being. Your desires, when aligned with your deepest truth, become healing frequencies that restore your body to its natural state of wholeness and vitality. The new science of epigenetics reveals that your genes are not your destiny, but rather the raw material that your consciousness shapes according to your lifestyle, your thoughts, your emotions, and your spiritual practices. Your DNA is like a vast library of possibilities, and your awareness determines which books are read and which remain closed. Your desires, when they arise from your authentic nature rather than from fear or conditioning, actually guide your body toward greater health, vitality, and evolutionary potential. Notice now where you hold tension in your body as you breathe naturally. Without trying to change anything, simply observe how your awareness itself begins to soften and release areas of holding. This is not imagination, but the direct influence of consciousness on the physical form it inhabits. Your body is always listening to the conversation of your awareness, always responding to the quality of attention you bring to each moment. The moment you recognize that your consciousness is not contained within your body, but that your body exists within your consciousness, a profound shift occurs. You move from being a passive observer of life happening to you to becoming the conscious creator of the experiences that flow through your awareness. This is not a metaphorical transformation, but a literal shift in the locus of your identity from the conditioned mind to the infinite field of pure consciousness. In the quantum realm, the observer effect demonstrates that the act of conscious observation literally determines which possibility becomes reality. But who is this observer? It is not your thinking mind, which is itself an object within your awareness. It is not your emotions which rise and fall like weather patterns in the sky of your consciousness. The observer is the unchanging awareness within which all experiences appear and disappear. When you identify with this awareness rather than with the contents of awareness, you discover your true nature as the creative source of your reality. This shift from observer to creator happens not through effort or technique, but through recognition. It is like suddenly realizing that you have been the dreamer of your dream all along, not merely a character within the dream. Every experience you have ever had has been a creation of consciousness, filtered through the lens of your beliefs, expectations, and emotional patterns. When you take responsibility for this creative power, not with guilt or burden, but with wonder and reverence, you begin to consciously participate in the universe's endless creativity. Your desires become the universe's way of informing you about the next stage of your evolution. They are not random wants, but intelligent communications from the field of infinite possibility, guiding you toward experiences that will expand your consciousness and deepen your realization of your true nature. When you approach your desires from this understanding, they cease to be sources of suffering and become doorways to greater self-discovery. Breathe consciously now, 3 deep breaths, and as you do, ask yourself, what if every desire I have ever felt was actually the universe calling me to remember my true nature? Notice how this question shifts your relationship to wanting itself. From this perspective, your desires are not evidence of your incompleteness, but invitations to step into a more expanded version of yourself. The creative process begins with a shift in your sense of identity. Instead of thinking, I am someone who wants something, you begin to recognize I am the consciousness through which the universe expresses its infinite creativity. This subtle but profound shift aligns you with the fundamental creative force that moves through all of existence. You begin to live as consciousness rather than as a separate individual trying to get consciousness to work for you. Within the spectrum of human experience, emotions are not merely personal reactions, but vibrational frequencies that either harmonize with or resist the flow of universal intelligence. Every emotion carries information, not just about your psychological state, but about your alignment with the field of infinite possibility. Your emotions are the universe's feedback system, constantly informing you about the duality of your relationship with your own creative power. When you feel joy, gratitude, love, or peace, you are in vibrational harmony with your essential nature. These emotions signal that your consciousness is aligned with the flow of universal intelligence, that your desires are emerging from your authentic self rather than from fear or conditioning. In these states, manifestation happens effortlessly because there is no resistance between your individual consciousness and the cosmic consciousness of which you are an expression. Conversely, when you experience anxiety, anger, resentment, or despair around your desires, these emotions are not enemies to be eliminated, but messengers informing you about misalignment. They indicate that your consciousness has temporarily identified with limitations, that you are viewing yourself as separate from the source of all fulfillment. These emotional states are invitations to return to your center, to remember your true nature as infinite consciousness. The alchemy of emotion involves neither suppressing uncomfortable feelings nor indulging in them, but rather witnessing them with compassionate awareness. When you observe your emotions without being consumed by them, they begin to reveal their deeper message. Beneath every fear is a desire for safety. Beneath every anger is a desire for respect. Beneath every sadness is a desire for connection. The emotion is the outer layer. The desire is the deeper truth-seeking expression. Take a moment to notice what emotions are present in your awareness right now. Without trying to change them, simply observe them as energy moving through the field of your consciousness. Notice how your relationship to these emotions shifts when you see them as information rather than as problems to be solved. This witnessing awareness is the alchemical fire that transforms emotional reactivity into conscious responsiveness. True emotional alchemy occurs when you realize that every feeling state is a temporary modification of consciousness, like waves on the ocean or clouds in the sky. The peace, love, and joy you seek are not emotions you need to create, but the natural state of consciousness when it is not modified by resistance or attachment. Your desires, when they arise from this natural state, carry the power of the universe itself. The practice becomes one of returning again and again to this natural state, not as an escape from your humanity, but as an embrace of your divinity. When your desires emerge from inner peace rather than from inner turmoil, they align automatically with the evolutionary impulse of the universe. They become expressions of love rather than compensations for fear. Write down now what you wish to release today, what emotions, beliefs, or patterns you are ready to transform through the alchemy of awareness. As you write, breathe deeply and sense how the very act of conscious acknowledgement begins the process of transformation. You are not trying to get rid of anything, but rather offering all aspects of your experience to the infinite intelligence that knows how to transform everything for the highest good throughout the way. Some traditions of the world, intention has been recognized as the fundamental creative force in the universe. Intention is not mere wishful thinking or positive affirmation, but rather the focused attention of consciousness that collapses infinite possibilities into specific experiences. When understood correctly, intention becomes a sacred technology, a way of consciously participating in the universe's endless creativity. The power of intention lies not in forcing outcomes, but in aligning with the natural flow of cosmic intelligence. True intention emerges from the silent depths of consciousness, from the field of pure awareness that exists before thought and beyond emotion. It is not the desperate wanting of the ego, but the purposeful direction of the soul, the universe seeking to know itself more fully through your unique expression. To access this level of intention, you must first cultivate the ability to rest in the gap between thoughts, in the silence between breaths, in the stillness between heartbeats. This gap is not empty but pregnant with infinite potential. It is here that intention arises as inspiration rather than as desperation, as divine guidance rather than as personal ambition. When your intentions emerge from this silence, they carry the creative power of consciousness itself. Begin now with 10 conscious breaths, counting each exhale from 1 to 10. If your mind wanders, gently return to 1 and begin again. This simple practice trains your awareness to rest in the present moment, which is the only place where intention can access the field of infinite possibility. The past exists only in memory, the future only in imagination, but the creative power of consciousness exists only now. The technology of intention involves 3 essential elements: clarity, emotional alignment, and surrendered action. Clarity means knowing not just what you desire, but why you desire it, understanding how your personal fulfillment serves the greater good. Emotional alignment means ensuring that your desires arise from love, creativity, and service, rather than from fear, competition, or scarcity. Surrendered action means taking inspired steps while remaining unattached to specific outcomes, trusting that the universe knows how to manifest your intentions in ways that serve the highest good of all. Meditation becomes the laboratory where you refine the quality of your intentions. In the stillness of meditation, you discover that you are not the one who creates intentions, but the awareness through which intentions arise. You learn to distinguish between the ego's wants, which are often based on past conditioning and future fears, and the soul's purposes, which emerge from the timeless wisdom of your essential nature. Practice now by sitting comfortably and closing your eyes. Breathe naturally and allow your awareness to settle into the space of pure consciousness. From this place of stillness, ask yourself, what does my soul most want to experience through this life? Listen not for mental answers, but for the subtle knowing that arises from the depths of your being. This knowing may come as a feeling, an image, a sense of direction, or a simple inner certainty. Your breath becomes a bridge between the silent realm of pure consciousness and the active realm of manifestation. Each inhale draws you deeper into the field of infinite possibility. Each exhale expresses your intentions into the world of form. Conscious breathing is perhaps the most fundamental spiritual technology available to you in every moment as a way of aligning with the creative power of the universe. The practice of setting intentions is not about getting the universe to give you what you want, but about discovering what the universe wants to express through you. When your personal desires align with cosmic purpose, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. You stop trying to make things happen and instead allow things to happen through you, becoming a conscious instrument of the universal intelligence that seeks always to express itself in forms of greater beauty, truth, and love. True healing is not the mere absence of symptoms, but the restoration of your awareness to its natural state of wholeness. When you understand that all suffering arises from the illusion of separation from your essential nature, from others, from the source of all existence, healing becomes a return to unity, a remembering of what has never actually been broken. Your desires, when embraced with wisdom and compassion, become the very medicine that transforms not only your individual experience, but radiates healing into the collective consciousness of humanity. The conventional model of healing focuses on fixing what appears to be wrong, but the deeper understanding recognizes that nothing is actually wrong with you at your essential level. What needs healing is not your true self, but your relationship to your true self. The pain, the longing, the sense of incompleteness that drives your desires is not evidence of your inadequacy, but the soul's way of calling you home to your own infinite nature. Every desire you have ever felt for healing, whether physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, contains within it the blueprint for its own fulfillment. The longing for health carries the memory of perfect vitality. The desire for peace contains the essence of unshakable tranquility. The yearning for love holds the seed of unconditional compassion. Your consciousness knows exactly what it needs to return to wholeness, because consciousness itself is wholeness, appearing to have forgotten its true nature. The healing process becomes a sacred conversation between your individualized awareness and the universal intelligence that knows how to heal everything. This conversation happens not through words, but through the quality of attention you bring to your experience. When you approach your desires for healing with reverence rather than desperation, with curiosity rather than resistance, with trust rather than fear, you create the optimal conditions for transformation to occur. Breathe deeply. 4 conscious breaths. And as you exhale, release any story you have been telling yourself about being broken, inadequate, or separate from wholeness. Notice how your body responds when you drop these stories, even temporarily. Feel the innate intelligence that is constantly working to maintain your well-being, the same intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair and heals your cuts without any conscious effort from you. The most profound healing occurs when you realize that the healer, the healing, and the one being healed are all expressions of the same consciousness. You are not a separate being trying to get the universe to heal you. You are the universe healing itself through the apparent form of your individual existence. This recognition transforms healing from a desperate seeking into a sacred allowing, from a struggle against what is into a collaboration with what seeks to emerge. Your desires for healing become prayers without words, invitations for the infinite intelligence to express itself more fully through your mind, body, and spirit. When you align with this understanding, healing happens not as a future event you must achieve, but as a present reality you can access by dropping your resistance to what is seeking to emerge through you in this very moment. The present moment is not a stepping stone to somewhere else, but the only place where life actually exists. All of your desires, no matter how they may seem to point toward future fulfillment, can only be satisfied in the eternal now. This is not a philosophical concept, but a practical reality that transforms everything when truly understood. The peace you seek, the love you desire, the fulfillment you long for, all of these exist in their fullest form in this very moment when you know how to receive them. Living from the infinite now does not mean abandoning your dreams or desires, but recognizing that their true fulfillment lies not in achieving them, but in discovering the consciousness that is already complete before any achievement. The future you imagine and the past you remember are both present experiences happening now in the field of your awareness. When you locate yourself in this timeless presence, you discover that you already are what you have been seeking to become. Your desires become expressions of the infinite creativity of consciousness rather than compensations for perceived lack. Instead of thinking, I will be happy when I achieve this desire, you begin to recognize, I am the happiness that seeks to express itself through this desire. This shift from seeking fulfillment in the future to discovering fulfillment in the present paradoxically accelerates the manifestation of your desires because there is no longer any resistance or desperation blocking the natural flow of creation. The practice of presence is the ultimate spiritual technology. Every moment offers you the opportunity to choose awareness over automaticity, consciousness over conditioning, presence over distraction. This choice is always available to you regardless of your circumstances, because consciousness itself is always already free, always already whole, always already at peace. Take 7 conscious breaths now, and with each breath allow yourself to arrive more fully in this moment. Notice that this moment has no problems, only experiences. Notice that this moment requires nothing from you except your presence. Feel how your desires soften and clarify when they arise from this ground of contentment rather than from a sense of lack or urgency. The infinite now contains all possibilities, all potentials, all the fulfillment you could ever seek. When you rest in this recognition, your actions become expressions of fullness rather than attempts to fill emptiness. Your desires become celebrations of consciousness rather than evidence of incompleteness. You begin to live as the infinite expressing itself through the beautiful limitation of your human form. Time becomes your friend rather than your enemy, when you realize that every moment is a doorway to eternity. The eternal is not something that will happen after death or in some distant future, but the very nature of this moment when experienced without the filters of mental commentary and emotional reactivity. Living from the infinite now is living from your true nature, which is timeless presence aware of itself, through the flowing experiences of time, beyond all the desires that move through your awareness, beyond all the experiences that come and go in the field of consciousness, there exists an unchanging witness that observes everything without being affected by anything. This witness is not a thing or a person, but the very essence of what you are. It is the awareness that has been present throughout every stage of your life, watching your body change, your thoughts evolve, your emotions fluctuate, your circumstances transform. This witnessing awareness is not indifferent to your experiences, but rather holds them all with infinite compassion. It does not judge your desires as good or bad, spiritual or unspiritual, but simply recognizes them as movements of consciousness exploring its own infinite nature. When you identify with this awareness rather than with the contents of awareness, you discover a peace that surpasses understanding, a love that has no opposite, a freedom that no circumstance can touch. Your desires, when witnessed from this place of pure awareness, reveal their true nature as cosmic love expressing itself through the unique prism of your individual consciousness. They are not your desires, but the universe's desires expressing themselves through you. The longing for beauty, for truth, for connection, for creativity, for service. These are not personal wants, but universal impulses seeking manifestation through conscious beings like yourself. The witness does not eliminate desires, but sees through their apparent separateness to their essential unity. From this perspective, the fulfillment of any authentic desire serves not just your individual evolution, but the evolution of consciousness itself. You become a conscious participant in the universe's endless creativity, a willing instrument through which infinite love expresses itself in finite forms. Rest now in the awareness that is reading these years. Notice that this awareness requires no effort to maintain itself. It is simply present, naturally alert, effortlessly aware. This is your true nature, not the thoughts that come and go, not the emotions that rise and fall, not even the desires that appear and disappear, but the consciousness within which all experiences arise and return to rest. Write down what you are grateful for in this moment, not as an exercise in positive thinking, but as a recognition of the abundance that already exists in your awareness. Feel how gratitude naturally arises when you rest in the witness consciousness that sees the perfection hidden within every experience, even the difficult ones. The witness is not separate from what it observes, but is the very space in which all observation occurs. You are not a witness of consciousness, but consciousness witnessing itself through the unique perspective of your individual existence. This recognition dissolves the final barrier between seeker and sought, between desire and fulfillment, between human and divine. Awakening is not an extraordinary achievement reserved for saints and sages, but the natural state of consciousness when it is not obscured by identification with thoughts, emotions, or circumstances.